how Tolkien built Middle-earth. Before there were elves in Rivendell or hobbits in the Shire, there was one man, a blank page, and a deep obsession with language and myth. J.R.R. Tolkien didn't just write fantasy. He invented a world so layered, so alive, that generations still get lost inside it. But how did he do it? How did one Oxford professor build Middle-earth from scratch? Let's find out. Tolkien's journey into world building started long before he ever wrote a story. As a boy, he was obsessed with languages. He taught himself Latin, Greek, Gothic, and Finnish for fun. Yes, fun. He didn't just want to learn languages. He wanted to make them, and he did. Tolkien began crafting entire languages in his teens, complete with grammar, vocabulary, and internal logic. But languages don't live in a vacuum. They need a culture, a people, a world. So he built one. Influenced by Norse myths, Celtic legends, and medieval epics, Tolkien began sketching out stories and histories to give his languages a home. The roots of Middle-earth weren't in plot or characters, they were in sound, structure, and mythology. Then came World War I. Tolkien served as a second lieutenant in the Battle of the Somme, where he witnessed unthinkable horror. Most of his closest friends died in the war. The experience didn't just shape him personally, it bled into his writing. The darkness of Mordor, the weight of loss, the camaraderie of the Fellowship, all carry echoes of the trenches. Sauron is not just a villain. He's a force of mechanized destruction, not unlike the war machines of Europe. During convalescence from trench fever, Tolkien began writing the earliest tales of Middle-earth. It wasn't therapy. It was creation as resistance. A way to reclaim beauty in a world broken by brutality. After the war, Tolkien became a professor of Anglo-Saxon at Oxford. There, surrounded by ancient texts and etymologies, his world began to grow. He started writing the Silmarillion, a mythic prehistory for Middle-earth. Gods, elves, dark lords, epic betrayals. It was his personal mythology, modeled after the likes of the Kalevala and Norse sagas. And then, almost by accident, came The Hobbit. It began with a single line. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. What started as a children's story quickly revealed roots in the larger world he had already built. Names, places, creatures, all connected. The success of The Hobbit opened the door to something bigger. The world of Middle-earth was ready for its epic. When his publisher asked for a sequel to The Hobbit, Tolkien didn't just write another adventure. He created a saga. The Lord of the Rings took over a decade to complete. It grew far beyond what he had planned, drawing in deeper layers of history, languages, and legend. Middle-earth became a fully mapped continent with races, timelines, family trees, and invented scripts. Every name had meaning. Every culture had a backstory. It wasn't just storytelling, it was world making, down to the roots. Tolkien wasn't interested in just writing an exciting story. He wanted to build something that felt ancient, like it had always existed. And through sheer obsession and genius, he did just that. Tolkien had a philosophy for this kind of creation. He called it subcreation. In his view, humans are made in the image of a creator, and so our storytelling is an echo of divine creation. To him, world building wasn't just entertainment, it was spiritual. Middle Earth is not an allegory, but it is deeply moral, good and evil, hope and despair, sacrifice and temptation. All these themes emerged naturally from the world he built. He created not just a setting, but a cosmos governed by its own logic and moral arc. And at the center of it all, the languages, the poetry, the songs. These are the souls of Middle Earth. And Tolkien never lost sight of that. Tolkien didn't build Middle Earth alone. At Oxford, he was part of a literary group called the Inklings, which included C.S. Lewis and other writers. They met regularly, reading drafts aloud, debating ideas, pushing each other further. It was in these sessions that The Lord of the Rings began to take its final form. Lewis encouraged Tolkien to publish, to keep writing, to see his work as more than just a personal project. That camaraderie sharpened the vision. Together, they believed that myth mattered, not as escape, but as a lens for truth. Tolkien passed away in 1973, but Middle-earth didn't end there. His son, Christopher Tolkien, devoted decades to compiling and publishing the Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, and countless other texts from his father's vast legendarium. Tolkien changed the course of literature. Fantasy was never the same after him. His work laid the blueprints for modern epic storytelling, from books to films to games. But more than that, he showed us what it means to build a world with heart. A world where courage matters, where small people can change everything, where hope endures. Middle Earth wasn't just imagined, it was earned. Through war, grief, language, and myth, Tolkien created a world that still speaks to us. What part of Middle Earth speaks to you the most? The languages? The landscapes? The legacy? Let us know in the comments. And if this journey lit a spark in you, subscribe and join us as we explore more epic worlds and the minds behind them. Because the road goes ever on, and we're just getting started.